If you have family or friends living in Georgia, particularly in Augusta or its surrounding areas like Grovetown, Hetzibah, Harlem, Thompson, Martinez, or Evans, or if you're planning to move here, or even if you're curious about how living conditions have been impacted since Hurricane Helene for us, then this video is definitely for you. In my last video, I shared my story as it relates to Hurricane Helene, and I showed you how parts of our area were affected by the storm. So as I mentioned before, when it comes to the Augusta, Georgia area, it's really unusual for us to experience the direct impact of a hurricane because we're so far inland. So normally we just get really heavy wind, we'll get a lot of rain, but this time the storm hit Augusta and the entire surrounding area, and it hit us really hard. It hit both counties, so both Richmond and Columbia County were impacted by the storm. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through what post-hurricane living looks like here in the Augusta, Georgia area. I'm going to drive you through portions of Richmond County, which was hit really hard by the storm. And as you watch, keep in mind that our linemen are literally working around the clock to restore power, and then they're clearing the fallen power lines. So while the tree workers, they're here, they're clearing up the debris, they're clearing off the trees from the streets that were blocked, off the houses and the cars. And some of the streets you're going to see that were severely affected with the trees and down power lines. It was just impossible. It was just dangerous to access those streets. But although those trees have been cut back now, the footprint of the storm, it's still here, and you're still going to get a sense of the storm's impact. I'm going to show you what it's like for us, the residents of the area, just really after the hurricane, just dealing with these extremely long lines, and then our gas shortages, our lack of essentials, the power outages, and our children are out of school. And then also stay until the end, because at the end we're going to talk to a couple who they've lived here since the late 90s. They've been significantly impacted by this storm. And so we're going to get a chance to visit their home, and we're going to hear their personal story because they literally rode out the storm. And so we'll hear all of that with them. And so all of that is coming up just for you right after this. Hey everyone, I'm Delrisa Rollerson, Augusta Certified Relocation Specialist, and welcome to the original Living in Augusta, Georgia channel. On this channel, I share with you the good, the bad, the ugly as it relates to living in the Augusta, Georgia channel. I am going to be transparent with you and tell you the truth. I moved here in 2015, so I'm going to tell you the truth. And I specialize in assisting those with their real estate needs, specifically here in the Augusta, Georgia area. So if you need assistance, if you're wanting to move to the area or from the area, feel free to get in touch with us. We can definitely help you. All of my information is on the screen. So here today, we're going to be taking a drive through parts of Richmond County. I'm going to show you some of the damage caused by the recent hurricane, and I'll show you some of the damage that my husband and I incurred at a few of our investment properties. And then I'll show you what it's like to live here in the Augusta, Georgia area post Hurricane Helene. And lastly, we're going to talk to a couple that lives here in the area. They had damage to their home as a result of the hurricane, and they're sharing their personal story with us. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. So we'll start the video by driving in Augusta. This is specifically South Augusta, and as you see, they got hit really, really hard in this area. The hurricane did a lot of damage, and this is actually after a lot of the damage has been cleaned up. So the trees, as you can see here, literally was plucked right out of the ground. The trees were knocked over in the streets, in the yards. The power lines were knocked on the trees and taking out electricity. Trees knocked on the homes. People, of course, inside the homes. Trees were knocked on the cars, have crushed vehicles. So some of the people, they're still driving their vehicles. They have no other choice. So if the car is drivable, they're still driving their vehicles. And unfortunately, there have been trees that have fallen on people. And as you can see here, there's just so many power lines are knocked down, are partially up, are totally down. We're having to drive under power lines. Some of them have been knocked very low. We're driving over power lines. Some of them are on the ground, and we're literally rolling right over the power lines. This is a situation that is unlike anything that I have personally experienced. So it's really a bad situation. So the power is totally out. So this area still has no power. There's a water restriction. So people, resources are limited here. Because this literally came. We in Augusta, we did not expect this storm to hit the way it did, because it was forecast initially for the storm to hit over on towards the Atlanta area, but it shifted at some point at the last minute. It did shift, and this is the results of the shift. So next, these are some of me and my husband's investment properties that have gotten damaged in the hurricane. So this one particular home that has the coach house in the back, you may remember this one. We did feature this one on the YouTube channel a few years ago, showing the renovation process. So now it's gotten damaged. Thankfully, none of our tenants were injured and none of the properties. So we've just gotten damage to the properties. So those can be taken care of, but thankfully no one was harmed. So immediately after Hurricane Helene, everyone in both counties, both Richmond and Columbia counties, were in the same situation with no power. So keep in mind, we were not expecting this hurricane to hit the Augusta, Georgia area like it did, because it was forecast to be closer to the Atlanta area. But it did a shift at the last minute and totally took everyone off guard. Now look at this line. So for the next few days, these are the type of lines that we saw. Walmart did really good with quality control, as far as crowd control. So they were controlling the number of people they would allow into the store, just so they'll be able to handle the number of people that were purchasing. But this line literally went all the way around the building, and this was a typical line that we saw for the next few days, as people were getting flashlights, generators, ice, replenishing food, and just getting essentials that they needed. So today is Tuesday. I arrived home from Cancun on Saturday. And of course, like I mentioned before, the hurricane started. It was tropical storm in Cancun, visited us there. And then when we arrived to Augusta, a lot of devastation was done here. And so now we're going through the process of just basically the aftermath of the storm. So right now we still don't have power. And the internet is sketchy, so we can get some emails, some of them we can't. The text messages are unpredictable. And now in the car, charging backup devices, charging our phones, because we don't have power unless you have a generator. So that's basically what we're going through now. But we're going to get through this successfully, and we're going to get to the other side of this hopefully sooner rather than later. Okay, so we went to several different gas stations this morning. Got up early this morning just trying to get gas. I have a half a tank, but I want to make sure I stay on full, because you just never know what's going to happen in times like this. So we went to 1, 2, 3 gas stations. One gas station was closed, 2 gas stations were out of gas, and now we're in an extremely long line. But this is the line that we're in to get gas. It is now 9 o'clock in the morning. So technically, actually, it's 9:08. So once we get there to the tank, I'm going to let you know what time it is, and we'll see how long it's going to take us to get gas.
Cash only and no gas cans.
cash.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, pull up and Sergeant.
Okay. So it's 9:25. We waited in line. We waited in line from 9:08 to 9:25. As you can see, we made it through the first portion. We got to where the police officer was. She said cash only, so that was not a problem. I got to the other officer. He escorted me over to the gas pump. Got to the gas pump only to notice the sign says no premium. I have to have premium for my tank. So now we're still looking for gas. Look at this gas line. It's going all the way around. All these people are waiting in line to get gas, and I will show you where the gas station is located. And so now I've gone to another gas station. You all just saw that extremely long line. So I said, I'm not going to wait in line anymore. Let me find out from the beginning. And so I just parked and asked the lady, and she says they don't have premium gas either. So now let's see if Kroger has premium gas. Okay, I found a place that has premium. So Kroger gas station has premium. I asked before waiting in this long line. So now we just got to wait in the line. And I hope and pray they do not run out before I get up there. So now let's see how long it's going to take for us to get gas in this line. So we'll start the timer now. We made it. We're at the gas pump and it's 10:05. So post hurricane, one of the familiar sounds is the sound of the chainsaws. So when looking at this, it's really amazing because a lot of the trees have been cleared out, cut up, and a lot of the debris is gone. So it looks like, it just looks like a horrible picture now, a horrible display of what occurred. However, it was a lot worse than this. We were not able to drive down this street a few days ago. So since the hurricane has occurred, living in the Augusta, Georgia area, this is one of the things that we're seeing. This is a very familiar site. This is American Red Cross. I'm currently now in Richmond County. I'm on Peach Orchard Road. And so this is basically like the safety disaster hub for the American Red Cross. So what they're doing here, they're loading up the vans and they're distributing the items that are needed. So basically like water. There are so many different organizations that have come to the area, and what they're doing is they're both in Richmond County and Columbia County. They're giving out water, they're giving out ice, they're giving out toiletries, they're giving out tarps. So many people in both counties, Richmond and specifically Richmond County, but also in Columbia County, still do not have power. And also people in Richmond County some of them do not have water. So here you'll see, this is another distribution center where the National Guard has come in, and they're giving away water, they're giving away the military food, boxes of the military food, and it's basically self-heating. They're also giving away tarps. So this is the line. The line is extremely long. It's really good for those who have vehicles. However, we have so many people in the area who don't have vehicles, and that's who I'm trying to help, because thankfully our power just came back on. Our power is back on now, but there are still people in the dark. There are still people who don't have food. There are still people who don't have ice. There are still people who do not have water. They can't take a hot shower. So what I'm trying to do, the best that I can do, is waiting in this line on behalf of those who are in need, and I'm delivering as many products as I can. And there are different churches in the area that are providing food. They're providing hot meals. Some are providing clothes. Some are providing, of course, water and ice. So the community is really coming together as a whole. We have literally all been affected by this. All of Richmond County, all of Columbia County. I mean, Augusta, Martinez, Hetzeba, Grovetown, Harlem, Thompson, Waynesboro, Evans, all of Richmond County, all of Columbia County. No one was exempt. So as a community, we are coming together to assist those that are in need, and even those who their homes have been destroyed. Some people's cars have been destroyed, but just going out cutting trees for one another. I've been seeing people go out and cut trees for one another, picking up the branches and helping one another. So these are the things, and this is really what's happening, and this is how we're living right now in the Augusta, Georgia and surrounding areas. So it's been 10 days since we've experienced the hurricane. Things are now starting to get back to normal for some people, while others are still going through the experience of the devastation. But right now, Columbia County, the power is back on in portions of Columbia County. So about 70% of Columbia County now has power, but a significant amount of people in Richmond County are still without power, and their water there. So some of them are still without water. So right now, what I'm doing is the National Guard is here, Red Cross is here, as you all saw earlier, and they're giving away supplies. So water, we have military food. They're giving away tarp for people who have gotten damage to their homes. So I don't need those things, but I'm gathering those things, and I've been distributing those to people who are not able to get out. So there are so many people who their homes have been damaged, and also their vehicles have been crashed. There's one particular family, they have 4 vehicles. All 4 of their vehicles got destroyed with the trees, and also they had damage to their home. So we have a lot of those situations, just so many, story after story of that's going on. So I'm taking supplies to those that are in need, and just basically just trying to get the supplies to them. But I didn't have to wait as long for gas today. So I went and got gas today, and it was back to normal. I was able to pull right in, get the gas. I didn't have to wait in a long line. It didn't take me an hour. I didn't have to go from gas station to gas station. So that's really good. So things are quickly but slowly moving back towards normalcy for us. It's still going to be a while. I do have clients, some clients actually just came in town today. So still clients coming in town, relocating to the area. And then also homes. We're still selling our homes. I've got a couple homes to put on the market actually in the next couple of days. So we're still doing business here. People, of course, are still relocating. All of our area has not been destroyed. So we do have, of course, some areas that have been affected by the storm, and of course some neighborhoods, like you saw in the video from last week, some neighborhoods looks like it has not, just a little minor storm to some neighborhoods. So I'm here today with Russ and Carol here in the Augusta, Georgia area, and they've been affected by Hurricane Helene. So you guys tell me what was going on during the storm here in your household.
Oh my, well, we went to bed thinking it was not going to be too terrible.
Yeah, we thought it was going to Atlanta.
So
oh my goodness, yeah.
Went to bed without really doing too much prep.
Right.
And then we heard the wind.
The wind,
getting
and
worse
then
and worse.
things thumping on the roof.
Then the power started flickering, and I saw flashes in the distance where I believe trees were hitting power lines.
Right.
And so we got up because you can't sleep through that.
Right.
And then not too long after we got up, that's when the first tree hit the house.
So were you upstairs or downstairs?
We were downstairs.
Upstairs.
Were you
I was upstairs.
when the first
in
tree hit the
bed.
house?
Yes, because I was laying in there going, oh no, and don't come through the roof.
Right.
Yes.
And so at which point did you go downstairs?
Oh, after the tree started thumping, because it was like one thump and then another thump and then another thump, and we were like, okay,
Oh
we
my
can't be
goodness.
up here.
Because there was several, a tree would fall, then another tree was falling, and then we're falling on top of each other.
So you had a lot of trees in your back. How many trees in total did you have that fell?
We had 8 removed,
8 removed.
and there's still some trees that are leaning that are in the very back.
Yeah, we have woods and we have
hurt
trees
anything if
leaning
they
in
fall.
the woods.
But so we left those alone,
Right.
and we'll worry about those another day.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my
But
goodness.
so that's probably another 3 or 4 trees that are in the back property that
That
are
we'll
leaning.
have to take down later when all of the disasters
Yep.
finished.
Right. Right. So tell me now. I just cannot imagine. You're upstairs. You're downstairs. The trees hit the home. The first tree hits. You then notice it's time to go downstairs.
Yeah, I was laying in the bed going, no.
Okay.
So yeah, it was,
Yeah.
and I had to get up because I felt it was dangerous.
So did you all go to an inner room or where did you-
We stayed in our downstairs living room because the trees actually didn't make that much noise when they hit the house.
Okay.
And so we weren't sure how, if they were just brushing against the house. And then this tree here, a pine tree in the front, it came down and it
Yeah.
made kind of a
Swishing.
almost like a broom going across the side of the house.
Okay.
But it didn't. It wasn't as dramatic sounding inside the house as once everything is said and done, and we came outside and looked
Right.
and realized,
Oh, my
wow,
goodness.
a lot of trees hit
Our
the house.
granddaughter's bedroom had a oak tree come through the ceiling while she was asleep.
Wow.
Yes.
Scared
while she was in
them
bed.
pretty much, but
Wow.
it's already been.
It's
they're
been
already
taken
been-
care
yeah,
of.
they're taking
And
care
she
of
was
it.
fine.
Yeah, we'll see how she
just-
does on the next storm.
Right. Right. So tell me, how long have you all lived in the Augusta area?
I moved here in September of 1998,
1998.
and they came shortly after.
So how many storms have you encountered similar to this one?
in Augusta,
In Augusta?
Augusta.
No, not in Augusta.
nothing like this.
So this is the first time.
In
we had a
Augusta.
nice storm
We-
that
yeah.
was,
We went through Hurricane Hugo in Charlotte, which
Okay.
was very similar.
and that was
Okay.
in, I want to say,
But for
89.
Augusta, this
Yeah, that was 1988.
This reminds us of Hurricane Hugo in Charlotte.
Okay.
This is so much like Hurricane Hugo.
really.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just like it. And we were without power longer in Charlotte with Hurricane Hugo than here. We were only without power here for 5 days,
Yeah.
4 or 5 days. And I think we were lucky because I think there's still people that.
There are still people. So 70% of Columbia County has power.
Right.
So there are 30% of us in Columbia County who just do not have power.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Richmond County, some of them still don't have water. So there's something like our water never got turned off here in Columbia County,
Right.
which was a blessing.
Yes, it was.
So yeah, well, I appreciate you all coming on and sharing your journey with us. I'm so
Thank
glad you
you.
all are okay. I'm so grateful that God protected you and your home. You know, you got damaged, but you didn't get significant
Exactly.
We're
I
still
feel
living in
very
it.
blessed.
Yes,
Feel very
absolutely.
blessed.
Yes.
And your cars and everything were okay. Nothing fell on your vehicle.
Nothing fell on the vehicles.
Blessing. That's a
So-
blessing. Well, thank you all, Russ and Carol.
problem.
Thank you so much
All
for
right.
being part of the channel.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
All right.
So as you can see here in the Augusta, Georgia area, we've actually embraced an entirely different way of living post-hurricane for now. It's a temporary inconvenience because Richmond County currently still does not have water. Portions of Richmond County has electricity, portions does not. And then for Columbia County, we never lost water. So those are some of the things that we're dealing with here in the Augusta, Grovetown, Evans, Hetzibah area here that's in the Augusta Central, the Central Savannah River area. All of this is as a result of Hurricane Helene. But the good thing is, one of the good things about this situation is, what I've noticed is that we have a lot more children outside playing. Of course, the children are out of school, but and because of technology being limited, we have a lot of children outside playing ball. A lot of children are outside riding their bikes. So the children are outside playing like they used to do back in the day when I was younger. And then also, I did see parents outside playing with their children. Did see at the restaurant, you had a lot of families getting together. Even driving down the street, you see a lot of families together. So that's one of the things in our community. Our community is really coming together, helping one another. In addition to that, I saw a guy needing assistance, and a stranger just literally walked up to him and started helping him with some things that he was trying to do. So that's one of the things that's good that's coming out of this. Our community is coming together as a unit and helping one another. Our families are sticking together. But then, of course, you still always have the bad in it, because, of course, with it getting dark, when it gets dark, it is pitch dark outside. And, of course, you do have people trying to take advantage of that as well. So you've got the good and you've got the bad. So that's with every situation. But just wanted to give you an update on what's going on here in the Augusta, Georgia area. If you have any questions in regards to specific areas that you're wanting to still relocate to here, whether it's Evans, whether it's Grovetown, Hetzeba, or whether it's Augusta, Martinez, feel free to give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. If you have questions wanting to know the condition of the area that you're interested in, I'll be happy to let you know the condition of the area as I'm able to. And once again, I'm Delrisa Rollerson, Augusta's relocation specialist, and see you in the next video.